There we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to Jamie Mendez, Spiritual Intuitive and Oracle, and I'm here with my weekly Moonday reading. This is an Oracle reading for the collective for the week of December 7th, 2020. So I'm just going to take a moment before I really go into what the reading is and how the reading works for anybody who's new to my page. I just want to take a second, and I just plugged in a new microphone. So I just want to make sure that the sound quality is good and everyone can hear me. Hi Meredith. Welcome, beautiful goddess. Hey Kathleen. Welcome. How can you ladies hear me? Does the sound... is it sound okay? Does it sound as good as it normally sounds, or is it sounding a little muffled? Oh, great. Thank you so much for that, Kathleen. Hi, Flo. Welcome. Yeah, like I said, I've got a new microphone, so no headphones. So I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't like that echo from the background, because sometimes you actually cannot plug this mic in until you actually start the live first. So just wanted to make sure. Oh, wonderful. Yay, it's working. Thanks, Meredith. Hi, Dawn. Welcome. So let me just go ahead and share and let people know that I am live. Bear with me one moment. Happy Moon Day, love. Okay. Oh, where did it go? Just have to refresh the page. It's not working. Oh, there we go. So how have you been? Hi, Brenna. Welcome. Thanks for being here. How have you all been doing since last Moon Day? Last week was interesting for sure. So definitely want to check in with everybody and see how you're doing. Okay. I think I got it. Hi, Gregory. Welcome. Thanks for joining in, and Monielle as well. Thank you. See if I missed anybody. So really quickly, I will do the rundown, and please feel free to share in the comments how you're feeling and how your week has been since last Moon Day. Oh, good, Dawn. That's wonderful. Oh, good. Okay, great. So you can hear the puppies barking downstairs now. So for anybody who is new to my page, welcome. And those of you who are not new to my page, thank you so much for being here and joining in again. So every Monday, or at least as long as I am able to, I try to go live here and bring forward a message for basically of guidance to assist us all. Now, I am an intuitive. I am clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient, and I am able to feel as well as I should say perceive the messages that wish to come forward through also working with oracle cards. So I call forward this message. It's for positive good. It's not a fortune telling, and it is not individual personalized readings that I'm doing here today. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, you can message me or check out the services on my page and see what it is that I offer, as well as my fees, and then you can message me and we can discuss it further from there. So I like to go live here and just bring forward a message for all of us, just to give us a bit of a heads up and an understanding, more of guidance, insight, advice, if you will, as to how we can best flow harmoniously with the energy that's occurring for the week. So these messages really act as like that inside connection, if you will, to what's going on, and giving us a glimpse into the theme. And having that awareness does allow us, again, to get ahead of something or to understand it and flow with it versus just blindly kind of flailing against the current or swimming against it and resistant, which creates a lot of problems within us and within our surroundings or within our life. So it really is that insight that we all need. These are divinely guided, so I do call forward the my higher self as well as my family of light to assist in giving these messages. And also they work, it's divine synchronicity. So it doesn't matter if you're here watching these readings live or if you're watching them on the replay, even months from now, or whenever you find them, whenever you come across the reading, there's a message that's going to resonate with you uniquely to your own circumstances in your own life. And you are here in exactly the divine moment that you needed to hear it. So, again, they are for all of those who feel drawn to this message, this reading. I'm sorry, I was looking at the comments really quickly. Kathleen says it's a roadmap, one that you can better read. Are you talking about your week? Oh, the readings. Sorry, when the comments come in, sometimes I'm not sure exactly what it is that they apply to because they're clearly delayed. I never see them exactly when you message them, so I do apologize about that. But so yes, so it's very interactive. So I love everybody to just share away in the comments. I'm not ignoring your comments. I try to get to them as best as I can. I do kind of like take comment breaks to go back in and check things. So please feel free to share away. And yes, so in this reading, the way that I like to do it is I like to first talk about any news and announcements that are going on here at my business, Magical Me, as well as my sister business, Oracles of the Light, with my two partners, Karen and Lindsay. So we kind of like cross-share here and there. We're really just one anyway. And I talk about the news and announcements, and then I like to talk about the energy forecast and what it is that I've been feeling, what has been coming up. Also maybe what might be going on as far as like any major energetic alignments, planetary alignments, anything that might be happening that we really kind of need to be mindful of or be aware of. And then I pull the message from an oracle card deck and I interpret that here. And then after that, I pull a mudra for us all to work with together. So when time comes, I'll talk a little bit more about what mudras are for those of you who are unfamiliar with mudras. All right, let me check back in here. Monielle says, had to tell some hard truths to a friend. She's upset now, but I'm better getting it out. Yeah, you know, that's been coming up. I think, was it last week? We talked about, was it the owl that came forward in our card last week? I'm having a hard time remembering. This whole last week was a blur. But I do know that it has been like a steady theme of truths being revealed and, you know, having to express our truth and really kind of stand in our truth. So good for you. And yeah, you know, it's sad that she's upset. But, you know, if she's able to, you know, move beyond it, it will allow there to be a better connection between the two of you. You'll be more transparent, I guess you could say. And if it doesn't, well, you know, then that's just the way it's meant to be. Kathleen says, what's good there is that we are getting out, but more importantly, they're hearing what we are saying. Sorry, I was like making sure I wasn't missing anything. I'm sorry, Kathleen, I'm confused about your comment, love. Do you mean the messages, like with the messages coming through and getting them out and sharing them? I'm sorry. It's like when I finally see the comments, I'm like, wait, what? I'm not sure what part that was about. So I'm so sorry about that to keep asking you. Oh boy. And the energy today. Oh wow. The energy today is really intense, but we're going to talk about that too. So let me go ahead and then get into the news and announcements first. And there are not a lot, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible. What we are needing to say or what is needed to be said. Okay. In regards to Monielle. Yeah, the truth. Absolutely. You're 100% right. You know, we cannot hold that in anymore. because obviously, it's just creating problematic problematic issues within the relationship dynamic, within yourself. So it absolutely is always best to get out what it is, especially now. I don't think that the energy, the alignments that are happening with the planets are even allowing it. It's almost like even if we didn't want to address it, it's kind of like it's like the bubble is being popped in some way or another anyway. So yeah, it really is Brenna, sorry. I can't even speak, you see. So it feels like ever since I sat down to start the reading, something kicked up a notch. Like the just the energy in this space. So I do feel like something really potent is going to come through message-wise. So bear with me because it really feels intense at this particular moment. So I'm going to move on really quickly to the news and announcements so I don't get too side-railed, because that happens to me often during these readings. So news and announcements, the most that we have going on, I was offering the 2021 year ahead readings, but I do have to say that I am completely booked through the month of December with that. So I have to say thank you so much to all of you who have participated almost, every year since I started these readings. And those of you who are new to the readings, thank you so much for the love, for the support, for your interest. These are really great readings. I really enjoy doing them, and it's really interesting to see the messages come throughout the year as well, and hear back from those who've purchased them to see how they really have helped them or really resonated with what was going on in their lives. So I am now closing those readings down and no longer accepting them because I'm already into the month of January with them. But thank you all so very much for your interest. The other thing that we have going on is the oracles. So Lindsay and Karen, actually, because I'm so booked through the month, I'm not able to participate in this, but both Lindsay and Karen are actually offering two $25 readings, and they are the candy cane reading as well as the Christmas tree reading. So if you have not seen that announcement or post yet, you can, I think I did post it on Magical Me, but you can also go over to Oracles of the Light's page on Facebook, and you can see the offer there. And so both readings are $25. They are, I do believe they're pre-recorded, or the pre-recorded is an option. Otherwise, they're just done remotely like this. They're not in person. But the candy cane reading, I believe, is about the what treats are coming your way and what blessings are trying to enter your life. And then the Christmas tree reading is a little different, where it allows you to see what it is that is your gift that you're being able to offer the world at this time. So two very different readings, but very relevant readings for this time that we're in. So if you're interested, go on over to Oracles of the Light's page, check it out, and if you cannot find it, just send us a message and we will, guide you the rest of the way. Also, on this Thursday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 10th, December 10th, the Oracles and I will be live on Oracles of the Light page. Is it going to be on Oracles of the Light page? I think we didn't decide if it was going to be on Magical Me, or that was one thing we did not talk about, whether it was going to be live on Magical Me on Oracles of the Light. But either way, it'll be shared, so you'll see. So I'll get back to you with those details. But we are going to be live on one of these pages at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, basically giving everybody the opportunity to shop out of our magical cupboard. So all of our tools that we've worked with, and they're just no longer calling us to work with, whether it be oracle cards, tarot cards, divination tools, crystals, books, you name it, we're putting them up for rehoming and allowing them to come to someone else who might actually be ready to work with them, whose energy is much more in alignment than ours is anymore. Because we do believe that cards, oracle cards, all divination tools, they do serve a purpose in your life, especially crystals. They tend to come into your life to work with you energetically for what you most need at that time. And then oftentimes people will report that their crystals have just gone missing, or suddenly just break and shatter off of their arms or off of their necklace, or just fall away and they got lost. that's because the crystal is done working with you, and it's entered, it's done all it can, at least at this time. It doesn't mean that crystals can't come back in and work with you, after a certain amount of time. They can. But these crystals and these items that we are ready to release, they've really worked their magic with us, and now we are ready to release them and send them off to new homes and new owners to enjoy them as much as we did. All of these items are in almost brand new condition. They are very lightly used, so we are giving them away for incredibly cheap, low cost for everyone. It's more so just for people to be able to enjoy them. And also, it's a great opportunity to do some holiday shopping at the same time. And it's also, you're helping us in the process because we are able to start to release things and clear out, decluttering our own lives so that we can also be open to attracting the new that wants to come in. So we'll be live 7 p.m. Eastern Time, either Magical Me or Oracles of the Light. One of the two pages, you'll be able to find it no matter what. There is an event that has been created if you're interested. And if you can't tune in live, that's okay. The replay will be available. We are also going to be creating a group for any items that do not sell live. Anything that's going to still be available, we'll take pictures of them, post them in the group, and those of you who want to join the group, we'll actually post that on our page as well, so you can find access to it, join it, and then you can peruse the items that are still available. Hi, Linz. Hi, Prescott. Hey, sweetheart. So Prescott is Lindsay's 3-year-old son, who is an avid watcher of Magical Me, and he loves to tune in, and he's always saying hello, so I think it's just so stinking cute. Hi, Christy. Yeah, Gregory. I love books too. I have to tell you that I have a really hard time releasing books. Crystals too, but the books I definitely struggle with releasing. So it's kind of something I've had to talk myself into. I do love books. Oh, Monielle, I just saw your comment. I hope she's not behaving like she's hearing it. Well, you've done all that you can regarding that, and it's time for you just to step back and allow that to either process or not. Either way, you'll know. You'll receive what you need to from it then. Okay. Can you donate a few decks to the cause? You absolutely can. Absolutely. If you'd like to put them up for, once we get the group going, that's actually really great. It's not something that we thought about. Once we get the group up and going, if it's something that you want to donate and or do just the buyer just pays the shipping costs for you, fantastic. So we can absolutely talk more about that then. So wonderful. I like that. Well, I'll talk to the girls too, because maybe we'll get a whole, instead of a book exchange or a book release, we can have people doing decks and things like that. So yeah, really cool. Hey, Lynette Love. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Glad you could make it. Hey, Lindsay. Just want to check in with you because you know exactly what I'm talking about regarding the sound. How is it? Because I didn't plug the microphone. We were testing this the other day. I didn't plug the microphone in until after the live. So is it good to go? Oh, well, thank you, Kathleen. Oh, that's sweet. Okay. All right. That works too. Perfect. All right. Eleanor, welcome, beautiful soul. Thank you for being here with us. I just ended up talking about news and announcements. I don't think there's anything else that I have to announce. The newsletter is actually going to be going out. If not today, it should be going out tomorrow. Just one last little thing that we're adding to the newsletter, and then it's going to be ready to go. Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right, it kind of feels a little weird, and I feel like I might be a little discombobulated because I don't have the headphones in, and I feel like I'm I don't know, I'm not talking right or something. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I have a hands-free microphone, everybody. So it's just, it was a gift. So I'm excited to be able to use it and work with it. It just, I guess, takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay, so let me move along here then. We're going to talk about the energy forecast. So this week, very prominent dates to note to pay mind to is Saturday's 12/12 gateway. So this gateway is we've been talking since October about the opening and the beginning of these major gateways that were aligning all up until there were 3 major ones opening leading up till the final closing activation day of the release of the old, which will be 12/21. So 10/10 was the opener, then there was 11/11, and now, we've had nothing but big energy alignments since then, as well as full moon eclipses. Next Monday, on Moonday, we'll be discussing the new moon full solar eclipse. Full solar eclipse. I had to make sure I was saying that right. That'll be happening next Monday. So we'll talk more about that then. I won't talk too much about that now. But that's a big one. But the 12/12 gateway is actually one of those trinity. It's the final of that trinity that's wrapping up on this Saturday. So very, very powerful activation day. What it is facilitating, from what I connected into it and asked what specifically we needed to know about that gateway, was that it was really facilitating our taking steps out of the old, taking step towards our dreams. And if you remember last week, our message was dreams and really about making your dreams come true. And so more and more, each step and each thing that occurs is actually, whether it even seems like it's a part of a dream, it might seem like something heavy going on, maybe some sort of an ending that happened. It realistically is actually facilitating your breaking free from the old and asking you to really, it's kind of pushing you to really reevaluate where you're at in your life, like what's going on, and whether or not you want to continue that journey, and really allowing you to step away. So what I actually see lately is there's been so many people, and even myself included, I have to say, I'm not really one to play into fear too much. But there are certain topics that will happen, and especially like anything to do with like your kids, health, things like that. There are certain things that will trigger those buttons. And so I do have to say that I've noticed that there has been, since the eclipse gateway, a whole lot of shadowy stuff coming up. And I've noticed that a lot of what is coming up to be released is less about the external, more about the internal, and maybe our old thought patterns and processes. And I'm going to touch more on that shortly too. I want to talk a little bit about the third eye chakra. Really a lot of like thought processes and old programming that we've been holding on to that we maybe weren't realizing. And when I say programming, I mean like your beliefs, kind of like concepts that we're holding on to that are just outdated, and we might not have realized that maybe they're not even our own. Maybe this is something that you've just been some way or another conditioned to think and believe, not even realizing that it was maybe a self-sabotaging thought. So these shadows and fears have been kind of coming up to the surface this past week to really show us and kind of put it in our face that this is something that's still disempowering you. This is something that needs to be addressed. And if it is causing you a fear, let's say, for example, a health issue, if it is in some way causing you fear and you think, okay, well, am I just going into fear over this and it's not really, an actual situation, that maybe I'm just making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe it's actually calling your attention to that specific situation, that maybe you want to be more mindful of your health. Maybe you want to be more mindful of what you are maybe neglecting about your physical body, or maybe some signs that your body was showing you. And maybe in that regard, it would be time to maybe get something looked at further. So that's what I'm saying. So if there was like a fear coming up, it wasn't necessarily that there's something bad going on, because obviously sometimes fear creates illusion that's not necessarily truth. And last week we did talk a bit about the owl's energy, which was helping us to see through the shadow of illusion and see into the truth. But it's more so helping us to recognize something that it's creating a fear for a reason. So what is it? Even if it's maybe not necessarily that situation is as bad as your fear is creating it to be, there's something hanging out there that allowed you to feel that way. So it's asking you to address it because it is disempowering you. And by all means, obviously, then you should go get something checked out if it does bother you in that regard. But remember last week I had mentioned the throat chakra. It was like really random. I was in the middle of talking about something and all of a sudden I heard, pay attention to your throat chakras this week, or just be very nurturing with your throat chakras. I actually had to take a step back from talking as much as I was talking, like doing readings and, like stuff like I do like this with Moonday, because my throat chakra actually started feeling, my throat itself started actually feeling really unusual. And I won't say it was strange because I don't even know how to describe it. Not sore, not sick, nothing like that. It was just this suddenly like I've had this huge lump in my throat, and at times it felt like I was trying to swallow the lump. Not lump like physical, like it's just, like I said, I can't even explain it. And then it wasn't even in one place. It was like different locations in my throat. So of course, I can relate to the fact that the fear that comes up, you immediately panic, like there's something wrong. I need to go to the doctor. I need to get checked out. Maybe there's something serious going on. But first, I kind of calmed myself down, centered myself, and I tuned in. And I even pulled some cards and I had asked for guidance pertaining it. And I really remembered Spirit made me specifically talk about the throat chakra. And I heard expansion, that I was going through a throat chakra expansion. And so with that said, there was definitely some discomfort going on. And while it's definitely not as noticeable as it was then, it's still slightly noticeable. So I'm just being mindful. I'm being easy. I tune in. I ask what it needs. If obviously one of my questions is, do I need a medical doctor? And I haven't. I've actually gotten a lot of more metaphysical answers. So there's some powerful, and we're talking about that truth. That is the throat chakra. And opening and expanding where we are anchoring more light, more of the divine truth, more of that divine will. Our throat is also believed to be partly the seat of our soul because of the fact that it is where we authentically express ourselves into the world. It's where we express our spirit's truth into the world. So anchoring more of that, and part of my role here is the oracular communication. So throat chakra is obviously very enhanced. So we're doing a lot of reflecting in right now, or we're meant to be. So those things that might have been coming up within you, some mental fears, some emotional things, you're really being asked to look into how are these things running your life, or even if they are accurate anymore, are they your beliefs? Do you still really believe them? Or are these imposed beliefs upon you? So that's been a really big thing. And we're actually, especially with this 1212 gateway, we're really being asked to take those steps toward breaking out of those old patterns. We're asked to come in. What's going on is we're starting to embody with light, this really high frequency light that's been coming in, and it's just intensifying. It's not going to subside, at least not before the end of December. We're really being asked to embody more of our multidimensional self, more of our authentic self and our original blueprint. And how we do that is by breaking away from those old constructs, those old concepts, the old paradigm, and that old limiting way of seeing, being, thinking, doing, which brings me to the third eye chakra for this week. So the third eye chakra is actually now what is being enhanced to shift our perception. That goes hand in hand with being able to break free from the old, because if you just see the old without being able to expand in your consciousness, you're only able to see things at face value as they are. and you may not be able to see beyond that. You know, it's like, this is what your world looks like, although to the next person, this world looks so much different. And that's because maybe they have more of an expanded consciousness in their thinking, or, you know, whatever it might be. So with this consciousness expansion, you know, the perspective, it's the third eye chakra is having a lot of, like, I felt, and even today I was actually sitting here in my room before I pulled cards this morning, and I posted on my personal page this amazing light that was coming through my window, and it was literally shining directly into, like, my third eye and just, like, pelting me in the face. And when I tuned in, I actually received that I was getting an activation, an upgrade. So that is happening to expand us. So when you have that waves of high frequency light coming in like that, you know, you can experience some physical symptoms that might be uncomfortable, especially too, like, the biggest one I think is fatigue, you know, just being tired. But also, you know, it could be like energy headaches right now, migraines could be going on. You could be seeing, like, you know, different, like, colors and things like that all of a sudden. You know, they're just rest, take care of yourself, drink water, plenty of water. If you feel like you need to sleep, then sleep. It's so important because, again, it's like we are just being continuously expanded and contracted throughout the remainder of this year. This is helping us shift our perception, and that's what's necessary in order for us to really birth into that new golden era that is upon us now, that new age of Aquarius that as of 12/21 we enter into. So a very powerful time. We're going to be talking way more about that as we, you know, as time goes on and we get closer to the solstice. I'll be talking more and more about how important it is, and, you know, the alignments that are happening to just facilitate this new age and all of that. But this weekend on Saturday, like I said, you can, it's this door that's still, it's already open. The doorway's been open, but we will have really kind of been like, it's like once we hit that moment, it's like another fast forward checkpoint where we're going to fly through. We've got the new moon solar eclipse coming, and then after that, we've got the solstice. So a lot of stuff is happening, and it's really difficult to keep up with. The best thing that I can tell everybody to really is just tune in frequently, to really just be mindful of what it is that's coming up at this time, to really acknowledge and not just blindly move along with things, to really acknowledge what you've been feeling, what's happening. If you're having, you know, if you're being triggered in some sort of way, I'm asking you to pay attention to that now, because the trigger is the signal that there is something needing to be addressed within yourself. So this is about breaking free, everybody. We're taking those necessary steps. In that same token, your dreams and goals that we talked about last week, the new moon coming, it's all about facilitating those new dreams and goals that you want. And there's a 14 right now, and it's actually on the 14th. So 14 viewers, it's on the 14th of December. So it's really going to be facilitating that in which we want to create in our life. And it's really a reminder for us to take the steps towards putting our money where our mouth is, no longer waiting for hope like we're helpless here and don't have any control or power over our circumstances. We have all of the power and control over our circumstances. And of course, there are things that, you know, have to be divinely aligned as well, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your mindset and what you are putting your energy and focus into. Now's the time to start writing down those dreams and goals and taking steps towards those dreams and goals. Really recognizing that it's time for me to make these things a reality, not to sit around and hope for them anymore. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to everybody with everything that has been going on. I'm going to check comments in a second. I know we also have been talking a lot about you know, like endings happening and things that have just been kind of like suddenly going kaboom, you know, out of nowhere, and then just like, you know, falling away, and lots of circumstances coming to a close. and they're necessary circumstances. And all last week was a huge blur for me because I did get news that my grandfather passed away. So while it wasn't a shock because he was 100 years old, the last 2 weeks prior to that, he had not been doing very well at all. He'd suddenly taken a turn for the worse. He broke his hip, and after he had some internal bleeding, and after that, it was kind of like a matter of waiting. So then we had gotten the call last Friday that it could be a matter of hours, and he actually held out till, I think, Tuesday. So, we did just, it was intense, but at the same time, I was able to come to a place where I accepted that this was the end of an era. And it was more not only within my own, ancestral lineage. And, I was carrying this new birth forward now. It was also symbolic to me in the sense that it really truly was the end of an era. So, not many people live to be 100 years old. So, I mean, we had a lot of time with him, and it's time for him to transition into his next journey too. So it's very easy to be overwrought with emotion and the stress or distress of situations coming to a close and coming to an end as they occur. But if you can also try to kind of zoom outside of whatever it might be occurring and looking at it from that, there's that third eye, higher perspective happening, where again, you're being asked to really try to see the symbolic or the spiritual message in a situation and why it might be occurring, and really what is it creating as well for you within your life when it does occur. Okay, so I hope that resonates and helps everybody as you might have been experiencing, some chaotic things this past week. There's still lots of chaos going on in the world around us all. So really always remembering to come back to self and center, reflect and analyze literally everything that is triggered, especially your fears, because they are all part of the old program right now, the old wounding and patterning that we are being asked to acknowledge so that we can break free from it. Okay. All right. So checking comments really quickly. I see Kimberly and Aunt Sarah and Patty popping in. Anne Marie, welcome. Karen, welcome. Happy Moon Day. Oh, not a problem, hon. Always in divine timing. Was just doing the energy forecast. Kathleen says metaphysical common denominators. Light kills COVID. Just saying. Well, we know. But I guess it's that matter of perception and what people are willing to be open to, and the shifting in the consciousness, right? I guess that kind of goes right into what we were talking about here, where some people are not willing to hear any alternatives other than what, there's that one way of seeing and doing and being told and just accepting, and that's it, So fortunately, it does seem like more and more people are actually turning into alternative medicine and holistic healing, and being a little bit more open-minded to different concepts as well. And I think that's what's happening with this shift, is that we are really beginning to release that old construct, that old way of seeing. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome, and thanks for being here. Hi, Annie. Raymond. Welcome. Willa. Thank you all for popping in. Kathleen says, yes. Felt like throat and third eye was getting a cold. Took echinacea and airborne 3 days in a row. Had to stop doing several things I had been doing. Yeah. Yep. I've had some postnasal stuff too going on, some definitely sinus stuff. But I will say that the sinus, those of us who work with, the metaphysical, we understand that the sinus is related to the third eye. And so, yeah, definitely having lots of that going on there. Oh, thank you, Aunt Sarah. Oh, I appreciate that. Hi, Rose Maria. Welcome, love. Thanks for being here. Dawn says, I look for symbolic meanings and messages so often. So is that my third eye? That is partly your third eye, being, you're expanding into looking into alternative ways. You're not just accepting something at face value. So I would say your third eye, as well as possibly even your crown. Patty says, guided to lay on my bed facing the window for a sun bath was lovely. Oh, that sounds beautiful. The sun was beautiful today coming through the windows. Like I said, I posted a picture. And do you remember last week? Was it last week? Where I said, maybe I don't know if it was during the mudra or if it was when I was channeling light language, I felt or saw lots of blue, like sapphire blue, and like violet rays coming in simultaneously together. That's been a pattern. I've been seeing that quite a bit lately, and the sapphire blue is obviously can be linked to the third eye chakra. For me, it's always linked to the blue ray, which is very much the divine will, divine truth, and justice being anchored. And it does align with third eye as well as throat chakra. And then the violet coming up for that transmutation, and it's the violet ray or the violet flame is the bridge to ascension. It's one thing to talk about how we can, how can we shift? We can shift up. We need to shift into that higher perspective or alternate way of seeing things. It's one thing to talk about that, but like, how do you get there? You know what I mean? It really does require a quantum leap, and that could be very subtle for it to happen. It could be something that's gradually done, but the violet ray is actually coming in this month incredibly more intensely than I think I've seen or experienced in a while. And the violet ray is that alchemical bridge to ascension. So it's really helping us make the leap in consciousness, if you will. So working with the violet flame is so important, and it really will help you, especially those of you who might be being triggered lately and fears or shadows or anger or old emotions and wounds coming up. Really processing through those, acknowledging them is important, obviously, and I always talk about that. Don't ever repress those things. Acknowledge them, sit with them, and try to understand them. And then working with the violet flame, and you can just do even a quick, those of you who have tuned in with me, sometimes you might recall when we channel and bring in the violet flame. If you can't remember that, you can really go to YouTube and just Google violet flame meditation, and I'm sure you can find a really easy, simple one that can just help you really bring that violet flame energy in. Even calling in Saint Germain, Lady Portia, Archangel Zadkiel, and Holy Amethyst are just some of the angels that work with and embody the violet flame, and they can assist you in channeling that energy and see everything in those feelings just being transmuted, taken from a negative, and being alchemized and turned into like this beautiful positive light. So it shifts the situation for you. It's also the energy, the violet flame is also the energy of forgiveness and compassion. So it does bring in those qualities to allow you to basically like alchemize the feelings that are going on as well with those. So very powerful, and it's so important, as that's going to help you. Even just working with it daily, even if you're not feeling anything, experiencing anything, working with that daily is going to assist you in making that leap in consciousness. Okay? All right. Oh, did you see rose gold? I was actually working with rose gold today, and I do believe Karen said she saw it. We were working together on a client today, and I did see the rose gold, and Karen said she saw it as well. So really fascinating. And the rose gold is that unity consciousness as well. It's that unification and that balancing of the oneness. So that's really special. Okay. All right, so should we get into the oracle message? Let's do it. I was having a really hard time deciding, though, what cards I wanted to work with. So I do think just because of the potency and energy, I'm going to go with a potent deck. So once again, I'm going to go back to working with Cheryl Yambrick Rose, her beautiful deck, Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. And I'm going to ask you all to just take a moment to come into sacred space with me so that we can really just detach from, because, you know, even though I'm here and you're there and everybody's everywhere, we really are interconnected right now as one. So it's so important for us to just like detach from that web of maybe, you know, mental stress, outside factors, chaos, and what might be going on. So let's all come together and just close your eyes for a second and just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And release. Just letting go of all thoughts and stress and worry. Unclenching your jaw, relaxing your shoulders. Allowing your mind to drop down. And the energy of your energy to drop out of your mind and into your heart space. And just connecting in for a moment with the beating of your own heart. And that feeling of just being in that present moment here and now. And let's see what guidance comes forward for the collective good for this week of December 7th, 2020. Whoa, we just pulled this card. Not last week. Was it the week before? 2 weeks? It says, Vigil by the Holy Thorn Tree. Keep the vigil and justice will triumph. I love this card. One, because I just absolutely love the blue rose. So drawn to the blue rose, which is really a powerful form of healing. And I really want to talk about that really quickly because I've actually been seeing the blue rose a lot more lately. Big card, yeah, right, Karen. It's a big one. It kind of goes already hand in hand with the things that I've been saying about the anchoring too, with that sword of truth there and anchoring that blue ray, that blue energy there, the sword of justice, the sword of truth. I'll show you how he's really holding it in front of him like that and anchoring it. And the blue rose along with it. And I did talk about the blue rose the last time I pulled it as well. And the blue rose is really profound healing. It is the real attainment of the, I believe it's the 33,000 petaled lotus, which is that ultimate attainment of enlightenment and illumination. So that, to me, speaks of like things being revealed to us this week and truth being revealed to us, and also about justice being served. And that doesn't necessarily mean in a negative way, like, you know, karma being served. It could mean like something that you have been working for and working toward really beginning to actually be presented to you now. Something that you've been, you know, like haven't been able to attain because of, you know, old karmic cycles that you've been stuck on, that looping pattern, haven't been able to, you know, break free from. Now that you're finally able to break free, it's like suddenly all of a sudden like things are just dropping in your lap and this magic is happening. So it's like the illumination in that way as well, and the justice like coming in. But the blue, to me, the blue rose is also about, it's like this very, and the reason I say this, and I said this last time, but I want to say it again, is because I have my own special experience with the blue rose, is that it also was a very powerful ally for me, where this is going to sound weird, but I had a dream where the blue rose, I was actually, somehow in the situation in the dream, there was someone who was trying to attack me. in the dream, and trying to like capture me. And then suddenly I said something or did something, and in kind of like in a video game, and those of you who've ever played like magical video games where, you know, you like a mage and you can cast your power, you know, like I casted my power, and as I casted my power, this blue rose became life size, like that, you know, the plant in Little Shop of Horrors, like the the Seymour, is that what it was? The like life size, like a Venus flytrap size, but it was the blue rose, and its arms were its thorns, and I was actually like kind of like conducting them, and the blue rose was fighting on my behalf to protect me. So in that regard, it was a message of how the blue rose can actually break down anything that would try to harm you. And it was actually Patty, beautiful soul sister here of light, Patty Ryfogel, actually messaged me something that she had pulled that very day. And it was about placing the blue rose within your auric field, which is something I'd never seen before. I'd never heard anything of this. So it was so magical because it was like my own experience that no one had ever shared that with me. I didn't ever, you know, I know some things about the blue rose that are out there and from different teachers and things in the past, but no one had ever presented the blue rose in that way. It was like it was fighting for you, and it would protect you. Patty shared something with me that actually just completely clicked and made sense, and it was about placing the blue rose at the top or at the very end of your own aura, and it would actually act as like this very protective barrier that would actually, like, you know, prevent anything from being able to connect with you. It would basically push away anything that would come towards you. So I do feel like that's a very metaphoric message for us all this week, which is that it's like the divine is working in our favor, and you're asked to hold that faith that everything is as it's meant to be, that everything is happening in a way that even if it doesn't seem like it's working in your favor, it actually is. And to hold that vigil of hope and having faith in the process, and just kind of surrendering your worries and fears, knowing that truth is being revealed, and knowing that it's working, like it's being anchored in your favor, not in a way that's like imbalanced or anything that it has nothing to do with something that you would want that is not right and good and just. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's only going to be regarding those things that are about, you know, the divine truth and what is right and good and just. But these situations, whatever they may be for you, and you've got that holy grail floating there above, which is like the attainment of completion, you know, and complete, in oneness there. And so it's like an old cycle coming to close, as well as whatever it was. And it might not just be something that you see with your physical eyes, but really about the old truly being, cleared out and removed and taken away, that it's no longer creating that barrier preventing you from attaining your truth and what is right and good and just here for you in your life, and what you've been maybe only dreaming and hoping to create. So this message really does play on the message from last week about creating our dreams, and the message prior to that, which was this card. So we're still there. What's interesting to me also is that the heart chakra is this is the Glastonbury Tor in the background. The tower is actually not the Tor, and a lot of people think that, but the tower is actually St. Michael's Tower, and it's the remnants of a church that was built there, and I can't remember what year, but the church was actually dedicated to St. Michael, Archangel Michael. And it is the heart chakra of the earth, but not solely the heart chakra of the earth and of the planet. It is also, or I meant of the collective, it is also the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra does not remain stagnant. It moves, and stagnant might not have been the right word, but it doesn't stay still. Like I don't know if it's something like 20,000 years, it actually shifts position and moves to a different chakra. So it's always with another chakra. It's actually with the heart chakra. So what we talked about the third eye chakra and the alignment of heart and mind coming together. So the truth of your heart is your soul. And that is your direct channel and connection to source. And that's the purity, so what comes from your heart is what is the truth. But when you have an alignment between the third eye and the heart chakra, you have a divine union between heart and mind. We always hear that saying of, the heart wants what the heart wants, but we know, something might not logically be the right choice. But what the heart wants is what the heart wants, Now you don't have that battle, that conflict between heart and mind. You have it's almost like you're finally getting onto the page that says, there's no more fear stopping me. There's no more outdated thought process and old beliefs saying like, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this because of such, and such, and because this is what society says, familiar conditioning says, religious conditioning says, that it's no longer that you're now moving consciously into that perspective of, I want to, and I can, and I don't need to explain why. If that's just an example, but I hope that makes sense with everyone. So it's like there's no longer where our heart and our mind is in conflict. We are coming into that balance, that divine union. So, and it's what's right and true. So it's really the anchoring of that divine truth and knowing that as you step out of the old to make those necessary changes in your life towards your dreams, towards living the life that you want to live. As you do that, we may have those outside factors that would, could ordinarily, that we would be afraid of making these choices because we would be afraid of like outside factors making it difficult for us, or this might not happen. It's like, for example, leaving a job because you're afraid financially. That's part of the old. The financial fear and not having enough is part of the old. Part of the new is that you will always have exactly what you need because you are infinite, and therefore the universe is infinite, which means that there is an infinite supply of abundance, and you will always have what you need if you believe that. So that in itself is like you're no longer allowing, so that blue rose is coming in to act as that protector energy to kind of, what's the word that I want? Like to, not propel, to, like push away or project its energy out so that nothing can come into that space within you that would create the confusion in your own thoughts and your own, way of seeing and what you're now perceiving. Whereas when we have other energies come in, they can alter our thoughts, right? They can create static within our thoughts, and they can also impose theirs upon us. So whatever it is that would keep you, paralyzed in a place that you are unable to make the necessary changes is now being removed from your view, from your vision, from being able to have any influence on you, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, so I hope it does. So we're going to have what we need. And even if you don't see it this week, know that it's all, you're moving into alignment. The upgrades, the shifts, the changes, the healing, all of the triggers coming up. So you're also being encouraged, you've got to work on the self. You've got to work through any challenges and triggers that do come to the surface, because as you work through them, you take their power away and you throw them to the side, and therefore you get to keep moving. And it's almost like you're just clearing like debris out of your path as you're walking forward, and you're not letting those stop you. You're just moving them. See what I'm saying? So it's important for you to do that, because that's going to help propel you up forward into that higher consciousness where these things don't matter anymore. There's no power. It's like the movie Labyrinth. You have no power over me anymore. That's what it is. All right. So I hope that resonates and made sense, and I explained it thoroughly to everyone. So no fear, no doubts. Keep the faith and hold hope, because you can create the reality that you wish to see. Okay? All right. I hope that makes sense, everyone. Hey, Laura. Welcome, lovely. Thanks for being here. And Laura, welcome. Thanks for being here. Oh, you're welcome, Cynthia. Patty says, the dragons are here to aid us all now through the changes. Yes, yes, they are. So there are, obviously there are dragons from, sadly dragons get a very bad reputation. And I feel like that's because there's with everything, there's polarity. There's good and bad within everything. But Patty is right, there are dragons from the higher realms, and they're coming in. The dragons that are here in divine love that are actually coming in to assist us, clearing the pathways, clearing the debris, shielding, protecting us. I read something not that long ago that said every goddess had a dragon. Like every goddess had a dragon guardian. And while as like silly as it might sound, it actually stuck. It actually resonated. So every day I actually ask to connect with the dragon energy that loves me unconditionally, that's here working with me. And as of late, it has been really predominantly the sapphire blue dragon as well as the lilac fire dragons. So interesting, because I said I have been seeing that it's like they go hand in hand. And even in the photo that I took today and posted on my personal page, there's a ring. There's actually 3 rings, and in the rings I think it goes sapphire, lilac, sapphire, or it goes lilac, sapphire, lilac. So there's like the 3 rings of that, sphere of those rays of light, which are the dragon energies that have been coming forward. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. Yes, call in your team, your divine protectors, those that love you unconditionally, that are here to assist you, shield your energy. And as the energy does intensify, as we continuously expand and grow towards the solstice, as we do so, it can be a little, like, it can take a little bit of a toll on us energetically. So do take precautions, not to be fearful, because I do not ever promote fear. But the way that I say it is almost like, you put your seatbelt on when you get in a car. You don't do that because you expect to get into an accident, and you don't do it out of fear. You do it because it's just precautionary. It's the same thing. So take care of yourself. Take care of your energy. Drink lots of water. I've been feeling called lately to eat a lot more organic and like whole foods. Although I'm naughty and eat a lot of cookies and brownies anyway, although I shouldn't be. Should probably be staying away from the processed foods and sugars. But, do so. Try to take care of yourself, take care of your body. Obviously, clear your energy a lot. I do mine daily if possible. Raise the vibration of your space, clear the energy in your space. And it's something, this is not a once and a done thing, guys. This is something, it's like spiritual hygiene. We have to constantly just maintain. Doesn't mean that you're not protected. Know that you are protected. But it's still just important for you to clear clutter and debris as you're trying to ascend energetically and consciously. Okay? All right. Lynette said, yes, food. God, I wish it didn't have power over me. I wish cookies didn't have power over me, but they do. I'm the cookie monster. All right, let's see if I missed anything else. Brenna says, yes, I needed to hear that. Good. Laura, I've been trying. It's been very challenging lately, and I keep getting more and more thrown at me. Yeah, and you know what, sweetheart? You're not alone in that. Those of us that have, well, all of us, honestly, but even those that are more sensitive energetically, that are more empathic, those of us who are quote unquote light workers that are here to assist in this process through ourselves, it's going to be more challenging. You're going to have to learn faster, quicker, because it's about mastering. It's about self-mastery. So, those of us that you ever hear the sayings, like those who have those really big roles, you will have probably one of the most difficult lives. So, and if you go back in time and you look at any of the saints, any of the prophets, the mystics, you look at their lives, they were never paved in gold. So it's definitely a trying time. But know that this is happening. It's difficult because you can handle it. See what I'm saying? Know that you are so much more stronger than your human mind will allow you to perceive. Does that make sense? So you've got this. You're going to keep getting more and more thrown at you, and it's because you can. Okay? And you're not alone. Reach out to your friends, your tribe, family of light. I'm always here. The others are always here. We help as best as we possibly can. Know that, it's not easy holding light. All right, pumpkin molasses cookies. Oh my God, I thought you were going to say pumpkin roll. I just ate an entire one last week. Not for myself, but pretty much. Patty says, deep breathing, lavender oil, self-massage has helped sleep. Oh, that's great, because I know that there's been a couple of people saying insomnia. So, yeah, thank you. Yep. Why did we sign up for this? All right, loves. Thank you so much. I'm going to move into our mudra and see what tool comes forward to facilitate the growth that we all need this week. So I work with a deck to assist us called Mudras for Awakening the Energy Body, and this one is by Alison de Nicola. So mudras are, the word itself is Sanskrit, which is a very ancient language, and it is actually believed to be one of the first languages on Earth. It's actually believed to be a original form of what we refer to as light language. And so it's very powerful when spoken. So the words themselves have incredible healing and expansion properties. So working with, well, I should tell you that the word mudra itself translates to seal, which is like an energy seal or an activation button is how I kind of see it in my mind. And so we form these seals with our hands. Now within your hands are palm chakras. Within your fingertips are, each fingertips, they're considered triggers. They are connected to the elements. So when you utilize your seal or form a seal in many different ways, as there are, I actually do sometimes when I'm talking, there are hundreds upon hundreds, and a lot of us actually do them without even realize that we're doing them, because it's part of a cellular memory that we carry from working with them in different lifetimes, because mudras are ancient. They have been being used for thousands of years, and very many different cultures have used them in some way or another. So these tools allow you to when you activate your palms and you form these different mudras with your hands, you actually are triggering your energy centers, which are your chakras or energy vortexes that are within your energy body. Each chakra, as you have 7 main, but there are many, many, many more. Each chakra actually is connected to the energy pathways known as your meridians within your body. Those energy pathways are connected to your bodies, which are in your auric field or biofield, which are, I'll give you the 4 main ones, which are your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual or light body. So these bodies are, each of them have the facility to pick up debris, blockage, emotional wounds, mental traumas, things like that. We can store those within our biofield. They can eventually create a blockage on your energy centers, which then in turn creates blockage through eventually your physical body, which can create physical disease as well as ailments. So when you form these mudras and you connect into it, channels energy into your energy centers. Now each mudra is connected to one or more chakras. So it has the power to activate many chakras at once, if not at least one. which then in turn facilitates healing and through the movement of our life force pranic energy it's like a circuit that runs through our chakras. So we're channeling this and activating with that seal. It then allows us to break through any debris or blockage that would be within any of those bodies. And they facilitate our overall healing and well-being. Can alleviate physical issues and ailments. Now also, they can assist because if you're opening those channels and clearing out the clutter and the debris, they can eventually also facilitate your consciousness expansion. So they are incredibly powerful. So much so that sometimes they come with a caution, because if you do suffer from a physical ailment and we pull a mudra that works with that area of your physical body, and we're channeling that energy into it, it can overstimulate the area, which can then actually create a little bit of irritation or aggravation within that area. So obviously then you want to use caution. If there is a caution with the mudra that comes forward, I will let you know that in advance so that you can choose to work with it or not work with it at your own discretion. Okay, so what I do is I pull the mudra, I go over what that mudra is, and then we do the mudra together here. Afterwards, I take a photo of the mudra and put it on my page, and then you can go ahead and you can save it to your phone or wherever you watch on, and that allows you to be able to work with that mudra all week long. I do encourage you to work with the mudras at least once a day. They literally take 3 minutes to work with them, more if you choose, and the more that you do, the more you facilitate the healing and the growth that needs to occur. Okay. Angie Walters, my sister from another mister, just popped on, and she is like the mudra queen. She does work with these much more regularly than I do, and does have a lot more information to share with all of us regarding mudras than even what the book has in there. So Angie, pay attention to her comments when we pull the mudra. If Angie is up to it, she does share with us information pertaining to that mudra. And if a caution would come forward and you can't work with the mudra, sometimes Angie can share a chant or a mantra that goes along with the mudra that you can use instead. All right. So her page is Crystal Essence Healing. Please go over and give it a like. Show her some love and some support, as she does love and support us back. Okay. It's like you smell the mudras. Oh, Kathleen. Oh, no problem, sweetheart. Have a blessed evening, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and see what mudra comes forward for the world as a collective for the week of December 7th, 2020. Okay, so we didn't get a mudra, we got a chakra. So that just means we're going to pull a mudra next, but usually there are chakras as well in the deck. And the chakra it's basically bringing our awareness to what chakra might specifically be a focus this week. And this makes a lot of sense. It is the Muladhara chakra, also known as the root chakra. So it's not surprising considering what we talked about with the fears that could be coming up to the surface, which the root chakra tends to be where we hold a lot of our, I should say when it's blocked is when it gets blocked by fear. It gets blocked by anger. It's also where like our passions come from. It's our physical connection to our physical body and to the earth. So it's actually located at the base of our spine. It's kind of between our legs. And it's obviously represented by the color red. Its meaning is the base of support, which is interesting because it is like our foundation. It is what supports the rest of our body and what supports us here in this physical presence as well. Oh, really? Angie said even with her mudra she pulled today on her own page, it does go with the root as well. That's fascinating. It makes a lot of sense considering what could be coming up and stirring. Also remember, we're clearing out that foundational earth template. So kind of goes along with that. It's like restructuring. So the sound is Lam, L-A-M. So you can kind of just chant that over and over again if you are wanting to connect into the root chakra. It's 4-petaled lotus flower is its symbol. It rules the legs and feet, elimination, and adrenals. And I do also want to point out, it's not listed on here, but root chakra actually does rule over our teeth, surprisingly, as well. Okay. Its element is earth. Its qualities are grounding, stability, security, and support. So when we have a functioning root chakra, we have the ability to feel completely grounded, completely centered, supported. We feel stable. We're not in that place of, feeling, fearful and not being protected and not feeling safe, and just not feeling stable. Like you have a stable environment type of thing, or structure. It's sound structure is what I want to say. So interesting. So let us see what mudra comes forward. Let's see, does mudra want to come forward? Does it want to come forward? So I pulled this one, but this isn't the one I want. I feel like it's this one, which is interesting. Ooh. This goes along with the throat chakra conversation. It is the Garuda Mudra. It assists with openness, balance, metabolism. Interesting. Because it directs breath and awareness to your neck and throat area. It aligns your cervical spine, releases tension from your neck and jaw, and it helps to balance energy and metabolism. So that's really interesting. But I also feel like spiritually, it's enabling us to open up those blocked areas of our throat chakra that have prevented us from being able to communicate our truth. It's freedom. That's literally what the card says. It says freedom. So it's literally about us being able to freely express ourselves here, whether it be through, how you choose to live your life. It doesn't actually have to be like you saying something or speaking something. It's about how you choose to live your life authentically on your terms. Also about communicating your truth, having conversations. And I do know that the 1214 new moon solar eclipse does facilitate, or have to do, I should say, with communication and is communication and like your thought processes as well. So that's kind of interesting. Angie says it is Vishnu, who is one of the Hindu creator gods' vehicle, the great eagle. Wow, it does look like an eagle too. Interesting. So definitely about some freedom there and taking flight. So we're going to do this together, everyone, for those of you who want to participate. And then afterwards, like I said, I'll take a photo. I'll post it on my page. But first and foremost, we'll do this together. Okay? Yeah, he represents freedom. He's also blue. So our card today, I know you weren't here, Angie, but look at, again, talked a bit about the blue rose. And even prior to that, I was talking about truth and justice being, anchored with the blue, the sapphire blue color. And, it's all there on replay for you to catch back. But definitely this makes perfect sense. So we're going to do this together, everybody. So how you do this? Archangel Michael aids the throat chakra. Yes, he does. All right. So how we're going to do this is you're going to bring your left hand in the front of your heart, palm facing in. Okay. Angie says it also balances the Vata dosha and harmonizes the chakras. Now, I know you've told me before what the Vata dosha is, but can you repeat that? Because I don't remember what the Vata dosha is. Okay. And I'm sure there's others who don't know either. So thank you, hon. So how you're going to do this is you're going to bring that left palm in front of your heart with the palm facing in and your thumb facing upward. Okay? You're going to cross the back of the right hand behind the left hand until the thumbs meet. Okay? Till the thumbs meet. And then we are going to interlace the thumbs and fan the rest of the fingers outward. Like a bird. And then you're actually going to bring the mudra up to your throat center. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And release, blowing the breath out of your mouth. Again, deep breath in. And release. We're going to do this 4 more times. So take a nice deep breath in. Release. Again, breathe in. And release. Again, take a breath in. Release. Last time, deep breath in. And release. And you can state, I embrace the freedom and openness of my pure expression. I embrace the freedom and openness of my pure expression. I embrace the freedom and openness of my pure expression. And so it is. And you can open your eyes. So that feels really good, especially on my throat. When I said I was still kind of feeling that really unusual feeling, that felt really good. Also, I actually kept seeing every time I took a breath in, I saw 2 swans together with their heads kind of coming together like that, which was really interesting. It kind of reminded me of what was going on with our hands here. So really interesting. Swans, they do represent that duality of coming together in a union of oneness. So they represent like a divine union. So that's interesting, coming together within our throats. So I just had a flash of mind and heart aligning together in throat chakra. So that divine alignment and the balance between heart and mind being able to be authentically expressed here into the world. Isn't that wonderful? Angie says it goes with Ayurveda healing. Oh, wow. Okay. Amazing. The dosha, Angie commented, is the energy represented within the physical body. The vata, or vata, am I saying it right, is the ether in the air. So I love that. All right. So the spiritual and the physical together. Wonderful. All right, everyone. That is it for this week's Moonday message. I do hope that you enjoyed everything that you've seen and received or heard here today, and I hope that it does help you as you move through the energy of the week. Those of you watching back on replay, thank you so much as well for tuning in. Much love, luck, and blessings as you move through the energy, and remember to hold the vigil, keep the faith and the hope. Much love.